If you've been looking for a way to do your part in the community, it's important to support organizations who change people's lives. Gap Ministries, for example, has been doing it for over 20 years. And here to tell us more is President and co-founder Greg Ayers, along with Director of Culture and Communications, Jason Ayers. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us today.
Really appreciate being here.
So tell us a little bit more about Gap Ministries and how you got started.
Well, GAP is celebrating 21 years of working with children and the needy populations within southern Arizona. We actually started out of our home, feeding some people out of our garage and taking care of foster children in a spare bedroom. And that has grown over the years to having 10 group homes here in the community, serving about 100 children, licensing foster families. We have about 50 of those. And serving those families who are trying to reunify with their children in visitation services and parent aid services, as well as feeding hundreds and hundreds of families and thousands of children every month through our feeding programs. And we have a culinary school and a mechanics school for those that are going through second chance programs with us, trying to get their life back on track. Just so many things that now we do in our organization, but all starting out of just the birth of wanting to serve our community out of our home back 21 years ago.
Just amazing how many lives you've touched. And of course, COVID has been a difficult year for everybody in their own ways. So what impact has this pandemic had on kids who are in the foster care system, for example?
Well, I think it's been very, very difficult for all children. And then put the additional trauma that the children that we serve have faced through their lives, and we're just compounding trauma upon trauma. So it's been very difficult. There's anytime there's a little cough or sneeze, the houses have to go in quarantine due to state regulations, whether they have COVID or not. We've been very, very fortunate. Very few of our children during this pandemic have actually gotten the disease, but at this point, it's still no school, and that difficulties are already behind in education. And so this Zoom learning has not been a friend for them. The pressures of being quarantined, you have 10 children at home, now trying to keep them occupied and with their minds not understanding why they can't go anywhere or do anything. So it's been really challenging. Been challenging on our staff, who have to work hundreds of hours in any given pay period just because kids are home 24/7, and it's just been very, very difficult. So it's been challenging. If you're a family at all and you have 1 or 2 kids, you know how challenging it's been. We'll multiply that by 10 children, and it's been a real challenge for foster care organizations throughout our city and our state.
Yeah, certainly. An effort like this takes so many resources. But what would you have to say, if you had to narrow it down, is the greatest need as an organization?
You know, I would say today our greatest need is staff. You know, as frontline workers, I know we salute all of our hospital and our first responders and all those people who are standing on the front lines of COVID, but having 10 kids home, you know, we feel just as frontline workers as all those people, and having staff here is a challenge in this season, you know, because people want to stay home and they want to, you know, make sure their families are safe, and we understand that, we get that, but you know, that's probably our biggest need today, is finding a need and a way to get more staff here.
Yeah, I mean, there's countless ways to help. Of course, donations always go a long way. The foster care tax credit is another way. I know you also have a capital campaign going on right now to actually purchase a building. So there's really so much to talk about. I'm going to point them to your website and tell them a little bit more about how to get in contact with you. But thank you for all the work you're doing, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
We sure appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for all you do for our community.
Of course, our pleasure. And right now, Gap Ministries needs your help caring for vulnerable children. You can help today by donating with your AZ foster care tax credit. If you want to learn more, including about that capital campaign, visit gapmin.com/tax-credit or call 520-877-8077.